everybody, and welcome to MangaPod. We're a weekly podcast in which we all get together after we've read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week, we read Battle Angel Alita, volumes 5 through 8. I'm Erin of HappiLeeErin, your host, and with me are one of my co-hosts, co-hosts, and a very special guest. Introduce yourselves, please.
Do I have to commit to the wispy voice the way you did?
I mean, if you want to.
Hi, I'm Dodger. And I'm really excited to talk about Battle Angel Alita. And I wasn't here for the first Battle Angel Alita, so it's gonna be kind of cool to talk about it finally. And yeah.
Ian, you gotta do it.
Yeah, Ian. Yes.
You have to do it, Ian.
Do it.
Hi, my name's Ian. Thanks for having me on the show again. This is my favorite manga ever, and I'm really looking forward to talking about it with you guys. It's gonna be fun.
Yay!
Good. And then the rest of the manga pod, we have to talk like this. If you've never joined us for a manga pod before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free description of the manga, aka summary read by a lovely guest, and then we'll give you spoiler-free recommendations whether we think you should spend time going to read this manga or not.
Yeah.
I was too focused on the voice that I forgot what I was actually supposed to say.
What else you're supposed to say?
Yeah. I feel like I missed something in there.
After that, you can take your leave. I think that's...
Yeah.
I think that's next.
That way you can decide whether you want to spend time reading the manga or not. And then if you do, you can take your leave when we get to spoiler section. And then go read the manga. Come back and watch the VOD of it on youtube.com/HappiLeeErin.
Oh my god.
It goes live right after this at 9 p.m. Ish.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Great. That was actually really freaking good.
Thanks. Ian, do you mind reading the description for us, please?
I do not. Let me recover from this huge grin on my face. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna move it over here. The people and cyborgs of the scrapyard live beneath the floating city of Typhares, whose inhabitants dump their junk in the scrapyard and rule above its inhabitants. One day, Ido, a former Typharian citizen and doctor specializing in cyborg repairs, finds the intact head of a young cyborg girl in a vast pile of scrap. He takes her in, gives her a body, and the name Alita. Alita then discovers long-forgotten fighting techniques hidden in her body and decides to become a hunter-warrior, a bounty collector employed by the factories of Typhares.
Typiferous, you mean?
No, no, not Typhiferous.
Typiferous?
Ah, yes, Typhiferous.
Typiferous?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Bunny foo-foo?
Yep.
Like, I was so confused. I was so worried about mispronouncing it because it's just the way I say it that I went online today and looked up how to pronounce Typhares. And there's so many different like text-to-speech things that
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Oh, that's funny. Typiferous. But yes, thank you, Ian, for reading that. So let's go ahead and give our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think people should spend time going to read this manga or not. I can go first. I really love this manga. I really like it. I really love Alita as a character. She is fantastic. She is incredibly well written. And the world and the world building that happens and continues to happen is really fascinating. And it's really cool to see something that we saw. The foreshadowing is really good in this as well. Yeah, and it's just great. And it keeps being really entertaining, and it's got a little bit of everything. It's got humor, it's got romance, it's got lots of action, it's got gore. It just somehow meshes a bunch of different genres and stuff together and does it really well in a really thought out story. So I think it's something that you should definitely check out. I think it's a staple for sure, especially in the action genre, that needs to be read. And if you're wanting strong female protagonists, this is one that needs to be on your list immediately.
Quite a strong.
Yeah.
Quite a strong lady. Yeah, I would absolutely second those feelings. Battle Angel Alita was such a pleasant surprise for me when I read it, and it was awesome to read more of it. The way that it goes from story arc to story arc It's like Erin was saying, each arc, like sometimes the arcs are so vastly different that you're like, whew, that was whiplash, but it still works somehow. And the way that it develops characters and has such a large group of people that it sort of rotates between and comes back to, and it's great. It's really well done, I think, and the art is fantastic. So I definitely recommend it.
You have no idea how happy it makes me that you guys enjoyed this manga so much. Because like I remember from day one on this podcast, so Erin asked me to be the mod, and I was the mod for like the first year. I was like, Erin, the one condition is you have to do Battle Angel at some point. And she's like, all right, I don't know, maybe at one point. And I'm so glad you guys like it so much. But yeah, as for my spoiler-free recommendation, clearly I like this manga. It's the only manga that I ever buy hard copies for anymore. And it like you said, it's got a great, strong female protagonist. It's got great story arcs that are great on their own, but also adds to the whole overarching storyline in general. So like something may be referred to in a later story arc that may just bring memories back from the first story arc or whatever. And it's great. And they're all diverse. All the characters are very diverse, and it's a very awesome manga to read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very cool. And I can't believe, like, so this is the first of a very long like this is the first series in many series of Battle Angel Alita, right?
Yeah, right now there
are three, aren't there?
There's
Are there
three
three?
series. Right
Yeah.
Right now we're reading the first series of volumes, which is just called Battle Angel Alita. Originally in Japan it's called Gunnm,
Gundam, right?
Not Gundam, Gunnm, Gunnm.
Gunnm.
But it's like a mesh between gun and mu, which is dream. Like the particle mu is for a dream or whatever. That's what I've read. Anyway, so there's Battle Angel Alita, and then there's Last Order, which is about, I think, 19 or 20 volumes, and now they're into Mars Chronicles, which is really cool.
That's what you were saying. Yeah, so it's been going on for a while. But yeah, it's a little bit more old school, but it doesn't feel like it at all. Because it started in the 80s? 90s?
Yeah.
80s.
It started in the late 80s.
Yeah.
I think, was it 87? 87 or 88 for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. This manga is older than me.
Yeah, only slightly, but yeah.
So it's like, yeah, so it's old school, but yeah, it doesn't feel like it. It holds up very well against the times. But yeah, so that is our spoiler-free recommendation and our spoiler-free description. So if this sounds like a manga that you want to check out and not be spoiled for, now's the time to take your leave. If you do want to hang around and don't care about spoilers, you are welcome to do so. But please, in the chat, do not post any spoilers for anything past Volume 8 of Battle Angel Alita, because Dodger and I have not read past that. Ian knows exactly if there's a spoiler, so he will warn, time out, ban, all of that fun stuff.
Time you out so fast.
Yeah, we take spoilers very seriously. We call people who spoil rotten bacon butts, and that's just not a very nice term, so you don't want to be called it. So don't spoil.
You don't want to be a rotten bacon
butt.
Don't
do it. Yeah, it's gross. They're nasty. Yeah, it's a bad term. So, let's go ahead and jump into spoiler section. I just tried to use the carrot I was eating as my mouse. That was fun.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yay, spoilers!
I thought Ian was gonna say something.
Wait, what?
I thought you were gonna do like the something is God, and so I was waiting for you, and you were like, spoiler!
Okay, we're in the spoiler section.
I told you that. Lou is God.
Lou is God.
Lou is God.
Oh,
Lou! I was just gonna say that the little emoji that someone posted in chat, Ghost Bear posted an emoji in chat. It looks kind of like Lou.
Oh, it's supposed to be Tracer from Overwatch.
Oh well.
It's one of Jesse's.
It's also she also looks like Lou. So where do you guys want to start?
Let's actually, Dodger, I have a question for you. Since did you read everything, or did you read it beforehand? Like last time we were going to discuss it?
So I read I read most of it last time, but couldn't remember a lot, and so I started from the motorsport arc and reread all of that.
Okay.
And then read everything that we were supposed to read for this one. So
What I want to hear what your expectations were from last time, because we never got to hear those. So I want to hear what your expectations were for this series.
My expectations were strong female protagonist, which I definitely got.
Yeah.
But I thought that it was gonna I don't know. I didn't expect the really in-depth world building that I got. You know, I didn't expect for these characters to be so vibrant and interesting and well defined.
Yeah.
And so it wound up definitely being a pleasant surprise. But I also didn't expect it to pull some weird arcs, right? Like for me, when she started doing the whole motorsport arc, I was like, oh, this is an interesting turn for this manga. And then when that arc ended and everybody was like, you don't belong in motorsports, and she was like, you're right, I don't fucking belong in motorsports. And I was like, damn, okay. And then that arc ended and they reference it. They don't pretend that it never happened, but it's interesting just because this manga so far has taken place over 15 or 20 years.
Yeah.
And that's just of what we've read. It's been interesting seeing her go through arcs of her life almost.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I didn't expect to get as attached to the characters and to the situations as I do. And for any of you who are watching right now, hopefully you've read it. And if you haven't, heads up, nobody is safe. People die all the time. And that almost makes it worse that you have these big arcs where you really start to care about people and then they die. And once I realized that no one is safe in this manga, I was like, I don't know, for some reason it almost made me more attached to it because I was like, I have to love every moment with this character because they might just die in the next chapter, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like Game of Thrones in that sense.
Yeah, it's very much oh, they can't kill off that character.
Oh my god, they died. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Why? Oh my god, I can hold it.
No. Let it out.
I mean, I'm done. So.
The when Ito died.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. I was so upset.
Nova tosses her just a box, and just the reaction, that panel of reaction was the first time I remember seeing that for the first time. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then it switches to the inside of the box and this plastic wrapped bits of his face, and oh my god.
I was like, oh, maybe it's an ear or a hand, and he's gonna be like, oh, that's all that's left of him. And no, it's just a
what I thought was going to happen,
dehydrated
because they've specified so much that your brain in this world, your brain is the most important part, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it'll be his fully intact brain, but the rest of him will be gone. And no, it was just bits. I was like, fuck.
I was so sad.
I loved her immediate reaction to just murder all of them. It was I don't care why this happened. I just know that you are the cause, so you're dead.
Yeah.
So while we're right there, I want to know what your first impressions of Nova as a character were, because last time you guys hadn't met Nova. He didn't actually show up in the manga in the first 4 volumes, but we got hints at him with Makaku saying that he got taken in by this Typherian doctor, and another one, I think Joshigan was also approached by Nova at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you've actually met him, I want to know what you think about him.
At first, he felt super mustache twirly villain to me. Yeah. He was like,
I totally agree.
But as he got on, kept going more and more, I was like, dude, you are messed up. And that makes you interesting, because it's what are you gonna do? And you're so important to Typhiferous that I want to know.
I'm gonna just call it that now. That's what it's called.
I'm I want to know what he's done in the past that has made him even just so notorious, I guess. He's done some stuff that we've seen, but there's so much more to him. which is nice. Because, like I said at the start, I was just like, oh, you're kind of like a really silly comic book villain. Like, he felt very comic-y. Yeah.
Especially with his, like, hot lover.
Yeah.
He's just, like, trying to sex up everybody. I was like, you guys are literally a parody of yourselves.
Yes.
So,
exactly.
yeah, they just felt too... And his, like, Igor...
Yeah, his Igor, like henchman.
Team.
Henchman bringing him flan. This is just like, dude.
The flan.
Yeah, the flan.
The flan is so...
What a quirk.
I think better with flan. That's my reading right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It almost had... For me, it almost felt like slightly Mad Max-y in that it was like people who had lived in this super deranged world and just accepted it, you know, and they were all working together. And I was just like, oh my God. And then when we found out that Chaos was his son, I was like, oh no. And then when he took, sorry, jumping like way ahead, but then like when he took Chaos and was like, you want to touch a brain? I was like, no!
Yeah!
No! That's
Worst!
Don't make him touch that brain!
Psychokinesis? Yeah.
Such a bad father. Bad dad move. Don't do that.
Worst dad!
Don't make your psychomatrix son.
Spinning everywhere. No!
Lesson 1 and lesson 2. Like,
So
that was pretty awful.
Stuff.
How badass is Chaos sometimes though? Like the
pretty
the whole idea of the power to be able to read the memory of an object by touching it and be able to like apply those memories is really cool.
Yeah. That's what, I think his power is really cool. He skeeved me out a lot with his whole like digging inside Alita's boobs and then being like, I love you. I was like, dude, no, listen, creepy. Creepy. There's a line and that's creepy.
I did like that at a certain point, though, he acknowledged that the really extreme feelings he was having might have been connected to Ayo's feelings,
which I like that they came back and I went, okay, now that makes sense. That makes more sense.
He admits it later on once the trailer crash. He's like, and he's talking to his assistant or whatever. He's like, I realized what I was feeling were just borrowed memories and borrowed feelings from Ido. So
it was just like, when I was reading it, I was like, no,
That,
stop.
like, Ido never admitted that before he died or
anything
like that.
That's an interesting thing because it's like, okay, so you're feeling these feelings of love, but it's obviously like also sexual attraction because he's all macking on her. And he's like, oh, that's what I feel from Ito. He's like, that's what I feel from Ito. And you go, oh, her, like, father?
Her father figure? Yeah.
Father
but,
figure.
Like, I think it also speaks to Ido's character that like he felt those things, but he felt so much more as a father that he like didn't act. He didn't mention those feelings at all. Didn't like give away those feelings at all. Like as a character.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He never. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking the train of thought of just being like. He was a good dad because he didn't try to make a move on her.
That's a good way to put it. Right there.
Yep. Totally.
Good dad. But no, I agree with that. And like that also made it a lot better because that sounds weird when I say that right after. But because I didn't want Alita to be a character that literally everybody's like, I love her instantly. And so to see like Chaos's feelings to be him like channeling a different person's make that a little bit more respectable to me in terms of the writing, because I didn't want it to be a harem. I don't want it to like,
I know.
Of all the genres I want Battle Angel to be.
So many times.
I was like, I do not want it to be a harem. And so having that kind of break it up, the writing be like, okay, this is the reason why he's feeling it. It's like, okay, I understand that. He's not just falling in love with her at first sight for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Maybe like that.
So maybe let's try and tackle our little arcs in the order they came in. Like first we had Zappin's return.
Okay, freaking Zappin. Just stay dead. Stay dead, Zappin. Stop coming back.
Her body, I was like, Fuck off.
Like at first, those first few pages, you thought, okay, Zappin turned his life around. He's not a total dick anymore. He's found a nicer purpose and found some love, and then Alita's on TV.
Man, you know, I don't ever want to be a cyborg that I can just like throw my arm back and chop a head off. I don't want that. I don't want that responsibility. Because if somebody touches me and I get startled, I'm just killing people all the time. And so it's like, yeah, but him, that I felt bad for. I felt really sad for him. And then he like died, and I was like, oh, I feel okay. Poor Zappin, tragic. And then he came back, and I was like, okay, Zappin. And then he came back, and I was like, Zappin, stop.
Zappin, please.
Stop. Please stop.
I really liked the one scene where Ida was in the warehouse with Nova and like actually feeling sort of admiration for the man, like it like as far as a practitioner of cyborg repairs or whatever, medicine or whatever. But then like when he realizes that it's Zappin's brain that's been rescued and is plugged in and
plugged into Berserker.
Revenge. He's like, move out of the way, and then just yeah. It was that was awesome.
That whole thing got out of hand so fast too.
Yeah,
like the second that body was active and had a brain to grab, it like destroyed everything immediately. And I loved that they were like, yeah, you know, the instability of that brain combined with the instability of the body just created this extremely destructive force. It was like, oh,
and
God.
like in the
that's
end,
why I think Alita was such a good fit with the body, because she's got that disciplined warrior's mind, and the instability of the body wasn't amplified. Rather, it amplified her warrior's mind when she was in it. So I thought that was cool.
And like, it's really interesting because like Zappin, it was at the end of Zappin where Alita pulled out the gun against him, right?
Yeah.
And then she got tossed like because of the felony.
With
yeah.
Destructor nanites.
And so it's interesting because she ended up losing everything in that fight, which was like what Zappin wanted in the end.
Yeah.
So he didn't get to kill her, but he destroyed her and everything that she loved. And so that's a very interesting thing. It's like, Zappin kind of did win in the end there.
She lost most of her body. She lost Ido.
She lost her.
Nobody wanted to be near her anymore.
Yeah, she lost all of her friends.
Really cool parallels between that fight and her first fight against Makaku. Like, did you notice, like, she had one arm, her body was locked off at the middle, and she was fighting with one arm against this giant monster, just like in the Makaku fight where she lost the arm to his eye, and he chopped her in half, and like it was an interesting like sort of reference back to the first fight, and it's also sort of closing that period of her life where she stays in the scrapyard.
Yeah, because she ends up leaving. Yeah, it's a very fitting end for that, like you said. Like, I didn't notice that parallel before, but now that you say that, it's definitely there.
I think the thing that was most frustrating for me about the Zappin arc was that he, like, refused to take responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and they even say that the only moment he realized what a coward he was being was when he was, like, about to attack her while she was playing the song.
Yeah.
And then after that, he got the berserker body, and it was like, well, whatever. I'm just going to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But, like, having, like, only one moment where he was like, maybe, like, some of this was my fault.
Yeah, so unredeemable. Like, he was just not, he became very uninteresting very quickly because of that. Like, there's just,
Well, and it was, after that, it was time for him to die anyway. So I think they wanted people to like be like done with him as a character. So
yeah, I was like, come on, just let's be done. And then he died, and I was like, sweet. But in the back of my head, I was like, is Zappin gonna come back? Whole time we were reading,
I was
like,
earlier.
I walked out of the room.
He was gonna come back again, and I hesitated because I was like, I don't think he does.
Yeah, he was like, and I just, cause like, I don't remember. I walked out of a room and I'd been reading. And I came in. I was like, "Ian, is Zappin dead? Is he actually dead? Is he dead?" And he's like,
real now.
"Maybe." And then so after that, then she gets she gets rescued by the dude who likes dudes. What's his name? Colonel or whatever.
Oh, fuck, what's his name?
The man's man.
The man's man.
The chief inspector dude.
Yeah.
In Typhares. He gets rescued by Typhares, basically.
Yeah.
Typhares intelligence.
Yeah.
Typhiferes.
Typhifery.
Typhifian.
Typhifian.
Typhifian
intelligence.
Typhufu.
Typhifian intelligence.
Typhifian.
Yeah,
it's so not intimidating. It's like we must destroy Typhifif.
And kids made that offer to work for Typhares or die, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was so, I did like that we got to see her be so distraught over it.
Yeah. She was.
She wasn't just like.
And that she remembered.
Yes. Yeah, she was. It took her quite a bit. Like she was pushed all the way till the very end, and then she decided to stand up and move on.
Yeah. I really liked the visuals of the White Room too. As her brain was slowly dying, the room got colder and colder.
Yes, colder.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, and then so that was a nice little like mental arc, like a mini arc within the larger arc, and then she after that she comes back as an agent, and like we meet Figure 4, who.
I love him. Who's Bay? Ultimate Bay. Ultimate Bay.
Yeah, Figure 4 is awesome. He's like full on flesh and blood human that fights cyborgs and uses similar techniques to Alita. It's pretty cool.
And he's just such a cheese ball.
I know. He's just so cute.
He's adorable.
And then they board that train. So we not only meet Figure 4, we meet the new Alita immediately after. And then we meet the Barjack immediately after that.
Yeah, the Barjack peeps.
It's a lot packed into like 10 pages. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Barjack happened so fast that I had to recollect to myself, like, how much did we know about these guys before? Because it feels like we should know a lot about them already.
I thought that I had skipped chapters. I thought that what I was reading, I had missed chapters, and like the chapter count got like all messed up.
It,
something,
on, really fast.
Yeah. The pacing on that was a little sudden.
Yeah, they didn't really mention I think there was maybe like one mention of Barjack in the earlier volumes with Victor, the guy that ran the warehouse. I think he mentioned something about his like supply lines getting disrupted or something like that at some point. But that's it. Like that, and that was this is the first time we're also seeing anything outside of the scrapyard, any part of the world outside of the scrapyard, because we had no idea what the outside world was before this.
We had seen through Figure 4, we had seen like his memories of the ocean that he had come from. But that was it.
But before that, and like I don't even think we got to see much of Typhiferus before either. Like we didn't even know anything about them. We didn't even know there was like who was up there, what kind of people they were up there, until Colonel Spotman rescued her.
The man's man.
Yeah, I think the closest we came to knowing that somebody was actually still on Typhares was when Hugo was climbing up the tubes and they were sending the tube rings down.
Yeah, at him.
But yeah, now like you said, the world building is so nice in this manga. It just we went from this giant scrapyard city to an even gianter wasteland, and also a whole nother giant city that actually has people in it, and we know there are people up there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, which I like because it doesn't feel like it's copycat of each other either. The two worlds are so distinct, and then even the like outlands from the scrapyard are completely different too. So it's just makes the world that much bigger, and I'm like, I want to know more about this. Like there's obviously a water place, fishing, where Figure 4 goes, like lives from, and so that's cool. And then there's the farm place where what's the one dude who betrays them? Yogo.
Yolg.
YOLO.
YOLO.
That's better.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Sorry, I don't need.
Yeah. YOLO.
Hit it. Talk about YOLO.
I also with this most recent reading, I mean, I noticed it before, but Alita's personality changes a little bit too in the span between reintroducing
2-year
her
period.
on the train and before she actually like sort of falls in love with Figure 4. Like when she gets in the battle, she goes a little blood crazy. Like before, it was never like that. It was always a very focused kind of fighting style, and now
Yes.
she just wants to destroy everything. And it's like she gets that maniacal look on her face, and
And they maintained that for the rest of what we read.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
She's
Yeah.
got such a bloodlust now. I think
Yeah.
after Ito, the thing with Ito, him dying, I think she just cracked, like something broke, and then going through the mental trauma of trying to decide whether to go with Tififerus or not. Like, I think she just suffered a lot. And there's been 10 years, something like that.
2 years, right?
It's 2
no,
years.
No, it was
was 10?
12 years.
It's 12 years between she's rescued and
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
meets
And
Figure
then
4,
12
right?
years has passed.
It was very
Yeah.
it was very confusing. Like I thought it was 2 years, and then all of a sudden they were like 12 years, and I went, what? But yeah,
because it was the whole Zappin arc happened, and then there was a 2-year period, and then Ito died,
yes.
and then and then she got smashed up, and then 10 years. That's right. Okay. Yes. We're on the same page now.
It's it's like hard to tell that she's aged because she's a cyborg and doesn't age.
She's a robot.
So you're just like,
I thought that they did a really good time gap gimmick with Koyomi, using Koyomi, who was
Yes.
the baby in Bar, Kansas,
I love
and
Koyomi
now
too.
she's a teenager and she's out in the world, and it's pretty cool.
Koyomi, precious baby.
Yeah, she was super cute baby, got kidnapped by Makaku, super cute toddler that almost died in the Zappin fight, and now she's a cute, brash teenager that is
who's out for blood.
Yeah, out for blood, out for revenge.
She's growing up so well.
Yeah, I liked that they had her age to really show that time had passed, and like even though not everybody was reintroduced or shown again in these chapters, they had that like 2-page segment where Koyomi was with Alita and going through like photos and like telling how people were and stuff like that.
Yeah, giving us like an update on everybody that we had left behind.
Yeah.
Right.
The one thing in that whole area of the arc that I didn't find to be that I like had trouble understanding was when Koyomi decided to go with Barjack. I was like, I get it. You know, we've got these like people living like our gods in this floating city above us. Like the only way that we're going to be able to move on is if we destroy that power balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like she got it, and she was like, yes, I believe in this cause. I think we need a reboot. I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
And Alita was like, what are you doing? Like, I don't get it. And I was like, Alita, you do get it though. Alita, you get it.
Yeah. It was one of those things that you're just like, you would think Alita would immediately understand.
Yeah.
I think
she gave up on changing her mind really fast, which I kind of took to mean like she was like, okay, no, I get it.
Well, I also think the whole relationship with Figure 4, because this is basically right after she left Figure 4 at his home city in Alhambra, and then she went to find Den and the Barjack and stuff like that to fight them.
Right.
So I think that kind of like calmed down her bloodlust a little bit, and maybe she's not thinking so much that she wants to destroy everybody anymore. So maybe she's thinking, just take out this one dude and stop this whole thing before anything crazy happens.
Yeah. That's true. But I agree. I was very like, this doesn't seem like something Alita would do.
Yeah. I feel like Alita would get it, even if she was like, you can't just destroy everybody in the scrapyard by dropping this shit on them. Like, that's not okay. Like, I agree, for sure. But, like, for her to say, no, this cause doesn't make any sense. The Type 54ians are fine.
54ians.
Are they fine, though? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, because she fights against them so much. Like, she has an agenda against them.
Yeah.
That to want to defend them, you could kind of be like, oh, well, now that she works for them, it's different. But it really is not that different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Lou Collins?
Lou!
What are you guys' thoughts on Lou?
I love Lou. Lou's awesome. She's super sweet, and she's really. I feel like she's really Alita's first real friend. Like she had comrades in arms before. She had people she looked up to before as warriors and other cyborgs and stuff like that. But she never had anybody that she considered a friend before.
Yeah.
So this is like her first real like, oh, girlfriend, how you doing kind of thing. And and they had their comms and stuff like that.
The banter.
The banter. There's a whole page of panels where like they plug in the little mini Alita. And like, I wonder what would happen if I do this. And you see the little mini Alita just start pounding on Lou's face, and then so Lou dumps her off of the motorcycle. It was so funny. That always gets a laugh out of me. I loved that panel.
Yeah, it's like they're just besties. Which so, but then it was so sad. I loved seeing her come to Alita's defense. Yeah. Because she was a very, like, we've seen people defend Alita before, but she was a very different character defending Alita. She was so shaken. She wasn't sure of herself. She never used force before or anything like that. And what she had to lose. About
when they had the A2.
Yeah, when they had A2 fighting Alita.
Lou, like, shot the computer.
Only shot, When, like, she, of all the characters who've ever, like, fought with Alita, she had the most to lose considering what her status was and where she lived. And so that was the first introduction to us about what the mindset is in Typhiferous, because of like just the idea that the government kind of oversees, and anybody who thinks outside orders or thinks outside what they say is right gets like goes to rehabilitation or whatever.
Right.
And so that gives us an idea about, there's something. We already knew something was wonky up here, but it's worse than we could have thought about. And so it's really interesting.
Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting that you think things are wonky up in Typhiferous.
I also liked that, Alita started saying, I want to be a bridge. I want to like bridge the gap between these two worlds and like help them come together. And then Lou started saying that too. Lou was like, I think that we could actually do it. Like we're a good team. Like we can make that happen. And then she wound up being in a position where she put like everything on the line for Alita. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
So sad.
Did she, I hope we see her again. Ian, I'm not going to look at you. But I hope we see her again and that she is not dead. I hope she's not dead. That's all I want.
I'm not going to give anything away.
Yeah, don't give anything away. Chat, don't give anything away. I just want her to be alive because I really loved her. But I also kind of want her died. That's not
died?
I want her died.
I want her died.
I want her died. I want her died and good.
But yeah.
I kind of want her dead. Sounds really bad.
That sounds terrible.
I kind of want her dead because it shows how, like, strict Typhiferous is. Like, it shows how into their mentality. There is no sympathy. There's no amount of, like, leeway at all.
Yeah.
And so if she does die, then that'll be like, oh, shit, they're serious.
They're super serious. Like, if you remember, when we found out in the earlier chapters that Ido was from Typhiferous, and he had, I don't remember if he had left or he had gotten kicked out, but he wasn't allowed to talk about Typhiferous at all. Like, there was nothing revealed about Typhiferous because he would not or could not talk about it. So, like, that I wonder if that's part of the re-education or something like that, or like it's just crazy how strict and totalitarian Typhiferous looks like it could be.
Yeah, and there's the whole where he erased his memory. I think you're saying.
Yeah,
because he found out the truth. And
Yeah,
so
he
it
found
made him
out
go crazy.
found out the secret of Typhares.
Yeah.
I
And
wonder.
so-
I wonder what that could be.
I know. It's gotta be
If it was
horrible. It's
If
gotta
it
be
was
real bad.
enough for him to want to erase his memory and lose all knowledge of the people he loved, especially Alita, it's bad.
Yeah. At first I was going, oh, come on, you have to tell somebody. And then I was like, well, if it's bad enough that he wants to literally wipe his memory of it, he would not want to spread it to anyone,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, because he's like, nobody else, he wouldn't want to put that on anybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I do like that even though he wiped his memory, he's still a doctor. He's still working on cyborgs, and he's still that like lovable Ido to the point that like he's got a gang of cyborgs in that town. They're like, "What the fuck are you doing here, Alita? Why are you looking for Ido? Who the fuck are you?
Who you?
Like, you should probably leave now."
Yeah.
She just wipes them all out.
So cute. That made me sad.
Yeah, and then so after Alita found out about Ido and knows that he's safe and at least happy, she moves on, and that's when is that when we meet Chaos, or is
We met him
before
that.
she found Ido.
Yes, we did. Speaking of Chaos, like finding out that Chaos is Den.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Because my brain was going crazy because like his best friend, I can't remember her name,
Jasmine.
but
Yeah, his
Jasmine.
best friend assistant. Yeah, Jasmine.
Yeah, when she was dead, and he was like, Den killed her. And I was like, but he's what the fuck?
And, like, during Alita's fight with Giant Den, like he was saying things that she was like, "How the fuck does he know
about
that
Alita?"
about me?
Yeah, she was very
How
confused.
does he know that my comps have been disconnected? Like
I
how
didn't
does
even
that happen?
like. I did not see that coming. All the ways I was like, I don't get how you can know that either. Like, I don't understand. I never would have put together that he and Chaos were the same person.
Oh,
I
no,
never
me neither.
ever would have done.
And
that.
I didn't even it even took me until he was like, I am Den, to be like, because
like his whole face change, his whole personality,
and he could talk.
Yeah. Like he could
talk before.
Yeah. And what I really like about it is that once Chaos, like, it wasn't dragged out that he had this other personality and he never knew about it. Like, this other personality did horrible stuff, and then Chaos was like, what? Why are all these dead people around me? Oh no. Like, because he touched the sword, right? I think it was because he touched the sword. He got those memories. He got those memories without being able to control it, and so he knew. And so that made me so happy, because that's something that other manga would have been like, let's drag this out forever. Whereas this, it just went, no, we have other stuff to focus on, and he needs to know about this now. And so that was really refreshing.
Yeah, that was really nice. And like just the way he was drawn after he found out, like his expression on his face, just like just utter like ghostly horror. Like he's messed up now.
Totally.
Broken man.
And then and then after that we go to what's it called? Mount. We go to Dr. Nova's base.
Yeah.
His home base up in the
Mount Carousel with the horses.
Oh my god, that carousel.
Yeah. Oh my god, with the real horses on it, and then the horse like tried to get off the carousel and then died. Yeah, and he was like, see?
If he had just stayed on the carousel and
see what happens
he
when you
lived.
don't stay on the carousel.
Guys,
like, this is horrifying.
It's a metaphor for typhififa.
What?
Nonsense.
The smat I just had blew you guys away.
But like Chaos's, or was it Alita that saw that, or was it Chaos?
It was Chaos. It was Chaos.
So Chaos's response to that was like, I see a horse that took his last few steps in the direction that he wanted to go. So Chaos.
Yeah, go Chaos. You get a backbone. You get a backbone.
He got his hand shoved in a brain.
I hate it when that happens.
Like with his whatever powers, like the telewhatevs, like touching someone's brain and getting all those memories, and also having the horrifying feeling of your hand being in a brain.
It's a very sensory overload.
Yeah, yeah.
It's weird. That scene was very weird too because you can tell that his dad, like from a genuine place, wants Chaos to take over his work.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, no, but like you have a gift and you're the only one who can complete my work.
Yeah,
That's
you're the one that
totally
understands
legitimate,
my madness.
good work. And I'm just like, it's not though. You don't need to be doing this. Like,
So and it just shows how far gone Nova is. It just shows that he's that much where he's like, no, I honestly believe that what I'm doing is best. What I'm doing is good.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah. Oof. 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 Let's talk about the art.
Yeah.
What are you guys' feelings on the art?
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the art has been getting not as grungy over time.
Yeah.
Like if you look back in the first chapters,
Cleaner.
it's very dark and grungy and dirty, and as time's gone on, I don't know if it was just skill level changing in the artist or if it was intentional, like gradual cleaner lines, less like just black dirt everywhere. And, it's nice, and especially with the Typherian control room, like the way they're drawn and the way the control room is drawn, it's very clean and white and pristine.
Yeah. It still has a lot of severity to it though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For sure. It manages to maintain all of that, and in those moments where you're supposed to feel like a lot of harshness, you do, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I really like the art, especially concerning when it was drawn. Like I said in my spoiler-free recommendation, it doesn't feel dated, really. Like there's some parts of it that maybe do, but for the most part, it feels like it would be a style of manga that's drawn nowadays for Shonen Jump or something. I mean, this is obviously darker than Shonen Jump, but yeah.
I think one of the main reasons this manga didn't take off more is because at the time it was a vastly different style of artwork than a lot of other like popular manga at the time.
Yeah. This sounds weird, but specifically in the hair.
Yeah.
Like when I look at the way that they do hair in this manga, I'm like, oh, thank God. Because so much older manga has just like this way of drawing hair that does not look good anymore.
The DBZ hair?
Yeah, the DBZ hair or like the
clumps everywhere. Yeah.
So like the Fushigi Yugi hair where it's like every bang is like individually drawn.
And like over the eyes, and the eyes are huge.
Yeah.
That's something about Alita. I love Alita's design in that it's very feminine, but without being like, I don't know what to say. It doesn't feel like shoujo at all.
Yeah.
Like she's drawn like an actual person, which feels really nice. Like her expressions are very vast and like different, and they're all drawn like, oh yes, that's Alita's face making that expression. And like she's also so sensual and sexy without being sexualized.
Yeah, totally.
Which is really nice.
I've always been a fan of the way Alita's been drawn because she, like I've always said, she's got that athletic female build. She's not like overly sexualized in like huge boobs or huge ass or anything like that. And she's not drawn with like a super thin like model face or whatever. She's got cheeks. She's got sort of a more oval face, and she looks like a normal character rather than a hypersexualized main female character that we see in a lot of manga.
I think even beyond that, it's believable to me that she's a robot.
Yes.
if that makes sense, like like when I see her proportions, it looks like there could be just like a robot underneath her skin.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, I accept this. I accept this reality.
That's great.
What do you guys think of when she like I feel like there's this whole theme of people's legs getting blown off. In this
Yeah, there is. She
Like-
just keeps losing limbs.
Like 3 times in these 4 volumes that we read, her feet got blown off, and like the last time, she just put a fucking wood stump.
I was gonna
Yeah!
say, and then like the next scene, she just had a peg leg and was like, whatever.
She's
Just, moved on
like,
with it.
yellow!
Old school cyborg.
Yeah, she's
you're
a
right,
pirate.
Gator Pants. They do mention her octopus lips quite
Yeah.
often.
They do mention her octopus lips. Yeah. Yeah, Figure 4 mentions it. Like he's like, I don't like her and her stupid octopus lips. Like,
And then later they made out. Yeah.
Yeah!
adorable.
He likes those octopus lips now.
Can I also say, part of me was expecting, for whatever reason, like her to, make out with Figure 4 and him to be like, don't cheat on me, babe. And then for us to just like not talk about him for a really long time. And like I liked that when Chaos was like, you're gonna stay with me forever and wear my wedding dress and it's gonna be awesome. In her mind she was like, Figure 4, I swear this isn't technically cheating. Like, he's so weird. I don't actually like him, I swear.
I love that she called it back.
Oh, she's still thinking about Figure 4.
Yeah,
Really happy.
and she thinks about him again, like later on when she's in the trap, like, and
Yeah.
she's trying to get out.
Yeah, and she's like, that's right, I have somewhere I'm supposed to be. Like, I have something I'm supposed to do once it's all over. I was
And
like,
what I
oh.
like about her and Figure 4's romance is that she's not like, oh, Hugo, and like remembering Hugo constantly.
Yeah.
It's not like she's obviously has a lot of feelings about Hugo still, but she's not using Figure 4 as like a gateway or a replacement at all, which is nice.
I think that's why this is one of my favorite, like, anime or manga relationships of all time. It's just because like they're into each other and they're devoted to each other, but it's not like they're fawning over each other all the time, or like it's not. I feel like it's more realistic in the setting kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Let's go ahead and wrap up, since we're coming up on an hour here, wrap up and give our final thoughts and ratings. I know, it went really quick. Yeah, final thoughts and ratings. I'm trying to remember what I gave it last time. Let me go look at our database. Database, just living in the
I don't have access to the database. I'm pretty sure I gave it a 10 last time. Just 'cause
Probably.
that's what I would do.
Did we? Oh, it might not be on there. No, it's not on there. Ooh, I feel like I might have given it an 8 or a 9.
Yes.
I think I might have given it. I mean, I loved the first section that we read so much. Oh, but I really like this one too.
I would give it a 9.
I'm gonna say 9 is what I'm leaning towards. Yeah, because
10.
it's so
10.
10. Ian just logs off. He's like, done.
10.
Out.
Drops Mike, aka
Skype.
goes out of Skype call.
The dropping mic of our generation. Leave
Yeah.
Skype call. Yeah, I give it a 9. It's solid art that holds up. It's got an amazing creative story that's going all over, like going all sorts of different places, but is still really tight and understands what it's doing, so it's not losing itself at all. It's got one of the best lady characters, both in terms of like badassery and just development that is in anime manga. And so that gives it like more points anyway, because it's such, all of the characters are so solidly written too. Like it's got basically everything that you need. And I want to read the rest of it.
You guys should go ahead and just finish out this this volume series, because there's only one volume left, and I wanna know what you guys think, because you're gonna lose your shit in the next chapter.
But I mean, we have to do it for MangaPod.
Have to save it for
Yeah.
MangaPod, yeah.
Are you sure you want to do that though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got
Okay.
it.
Don't
We have
tap
to.
me. Don't tap me.
We have to.
Have to.
We'll save it
Alright.
for next time then. It'll be
Yeah.
a good segue into Last Order.
Yeah,
For sure though.
exactly. Sweet. All right, we got 2 9s and a 10. So y'all should definitely go and check out Battle Angel Alita. It's freaking awesome. It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good, guys. Oh my goodness.
So I'm going to go ahead and read the description for the manga that we are reading next week. This is actually gonna be a super guess because what's on the schedule isn't gonna be anymore. It's not what we're actually reading
If you're
anymore.
looking at the schedule, if you're trying to be a cheaty Pete, it's not gonna work because we're switching it.
Boom, 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 boom. But I know nothing about this manga, so we'll see what I choose to blank. Having lost his wife, math teacher Kohei Inuzuka is doing his best to raise his young blank Sumugi as a single blank. Can't figure that out, I bet. He's pretty bad at cooking and doesn't have a huge appetite to begin with, but chance brings his little family and one of his students, Kotori Ida, together for homemade adventures. With these 3 cooks in the kitchen, it's no wonder this dinner table drama is so delicious.
Guys,
That's the actual summary.
what the heck? We're reading Battle Angel again?
We're reading Battle Angel Alita. That's the
Battle
perfect
Angel Alita.
description.
Battle Angel Alita.
Battle
Clearly.
Angel,
So I'll see you guys next week then.
Cool.
Okay, see ya. I don't know if anybody is going to get this. It's kind of a lesser known manga. So, anybody?
I don't even know what it is.
It is
Never
not
heard of
Usagi Drop, but you're on a good track.
it.
I give you guys
Okay.
15 more seconds.
Getting- Few more seconds, and then we're gonna spoil it for you.
Okay, I'm spoiling it for you. Sweetness and Lightning. We are reading Sweetness and Lightning, aka I'm trying to remember. I don't remember what the Japanese name is. So, but Sweetness and Lightning. It is on Crunchyroll, so you can check it out. We are reading the entire thing. It's 33 chapters, 4 volumes. We are reading all of it, and we are going to be joined by Tristan, aka JR Akata. So that will be super fun. We love him, and it'll be great to have him back for sure. So somebody called it blank blank. Yes, you're right.
Perfect.
It is called
Go on,
blank.
You got it.
Yes.
Good guess, old.
Which is
Good
actually
guess.
kind of sad
Did it.
because we were going to read No Game, No Life. And I'm really upset because of what the description would have been. Because isn't the brother and sister called Blank in that? Or are they called
Oh, are
something?
they?
Aren't they called Blank? Hang
I
on.
don't know. I don't remember.
No Game,
I watched
No Life.
sporadic episodes of No Game, No Life.
Hang on, I'm trying to remember. Yes, they're called Blank. I am so upset. You guys don't understand how upset I am by the fact that I did not get to read the script for No Game, No Life because I would have had to blank, and you guys would have been so confused. I'm so upset. Whatever. Alright, so let's wrap up and give our final thoughts and rating. Oh, Jace Kid. No, that's wrong. We already did that.
We did that already.
I was so.
I give it a 9.
And I bet you're going to give it a 10. Let's shout out our stuff super fast. That's what I wanted to do. I'm Erin of HappiLeeErin. I have a YouTube channel. I do cool, just weeb stuff, weeb trash, basically. I have my first impression of Bungo Stray Dogs going to probably go up this weekend. I filmed it, and I'm really excited because it's the first impression I've done in forever. So I'm stoked to start getting back into this. This season has just been so good that it makes me want to make tons of videos because of how freaking amazing lots of series are. So you can find me on YouTube. All the previous MangaPods are also hosted there, youtube.com/HappiLeeErin. If you would like to follow me on any other social media site, I'm HappiLeeErin all across the everything. I just got back into exercising, so all of my tweets are currently about how much pain I'm in.
Perfect. I'm Dodger. You might be watching this on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/dexterity_bonus, but you can also find me on Press Heart to Continue. I am going to be putting up my anime season first impression tomorrow. So if you're interested in that, it's literally just me being like, I watched a whole bunch of stuff. Here's in a couple of sentences how I feel about them. Unless I feel really strongly, then I go on for way too long. But yeah, if you'd like to watch that, that will be going up tomorrow. And on all the social medias, I'm at DexBonus, DEXBONUS. I will be at PAX starting on Thursday. So
Yay.
yeah, but there should still be stuff going up because we got lots of Hustle Cat and whatnot.
Oh my god, I love your first one. It's so good.
I haven't
I
watched it yet, but
died.
want to.
I died laughing when you picked the Stumpy Cats instead of the other one, and Alex got pissed. Died. I was laughing.
He was trying to trick me. He was trying to trick me.
He's like, no. Ah, goddamn.
It's been really
All right.
fun. So
Good.
All right, I'm Ianleaf. You can follow me on Twitter at Ianleaf. I also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/IamIanleaf. I believe my Twitch is also just Ianleaf. I haven't posted anything in a while, but I am planning on starting some craft streaming soon. I'm going to be making some replicas of creature skulls and heads and stuff like that to use as a trophy wall display kind of thing. So if you're into that, I'll probably start that next week after I come back from PAX. Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. Thank you so much for joining us. You were wonderful as usual. And I can't wait to have you back for more Battle Angel because we're going to read more of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thanks,
Ian.
guys. I always enjoy being on the podcast.
Yeah, we love having you. Yeah. And thank you all so much to everybody in chat and who is viewing this later on YouTube. You guys are all wonderful and beautiful, and we appreciate you watching and hanging out with us. If you'd like more MangaPod, you can find us on our subreddit, reddit.com/r/MangaPod, where you can find the schedule for the upcoming weeks, as well as our recommendation thread, where you can post manga you would like us to check out, and hopefully we can check them out in future schedules. And we also have a Hummingbird, which is MangaPod Book Club, which if you search on Hummingbird, you can find it there. So go ahead and join that. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will be here same time, same place, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. It's not Pacific Standard Time anymore. It's Pacific time. Pacific time. Here on twitch.tv/dexterity bonus and youtube.com/HappiLeeErin, reading Sweetness and Lightning, volumes 1 through 4. So we'll see you next week.